So it looks like Sina's going to be a little late, and Hilary is going to miss. Anyone here from one of the other client teams? I will take that as a no.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, I wanted to ask, would there be a need of joining this call with the ROPC standard call?
Yeah, I just commented about that in Telegram. My personal opinion is to keep the calls as focused as possible, because I suspect there are some people who join this call who don't really care about other Ethereum RPC things. And there are probably people on the Ethereum RPC call who probably don't care much about ETH Simulate. And so combining the calls, I know it simplifies things from a management perspective, but I worry that the people who attend the calls may not appreciate it.
Because I was thinking the same. And again, I noticed that the RPC call was just for the execution API, like general maintenance and then merging of pairs and stuffs like that.
Yeah, so if the RPC call, I think there are a number of people who would like to help improve the RPC situation on Ethereum. I don't know if that's happening in the RPC call yet or not. I don't intend. But if it's just people talking about maintenance things and minor details here and there, I suspect there will be a number of people in this call who aren't interested, at the very least.
Okay, thank you.
For example, Kalari and I don't work for any of the client teams. We work on another project that depends heavily on ETH Simulate, but it doesn't really, we don't have a role to play in the rest of the RPC ecosystem.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Sina.
Hello, guys.
I think everyone else here is non-client teams. So just you. It sounded like you had no updates.
Yeah, there hasn't been any update from me. Yeah, I'm just basically waiting to see if when we get test parity with Besu and Netherminds, and then my goal is to push for the spec and test to be merged in the repos.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds very reasonable to me. I think a while back we wanted to approach all core devs again with it. Do we no longer feel that's necessary? Or do you no longer feel that's necessary?
Well, I would assume that approaching all core devs or one of these channels would be how we can push it to be merged.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we kind of need to get the tests passing together before.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Hopefully, I think on that front, we're basically waiting for Nethermind and Besu to move forward on that. There's nothing outstanding in Geth as far as we know. Okay. I don't have any updates, and Kalari's not here, so no updates from our side.
So maybe we can ask everybody else on this call if they have something they would like to bring up.
Mercy brought up earlier before you got here a question about do we want to merge this with the JSON RPC call. My initial feedback, just to reiterate, was that I worry that the people who attend this call may not want to participate in the RPC call, and people who attend the RPC call may not want to participate in this one. And so I worry that a merge of the two calls may result in some set of people being frustrated by lack of focus. But I suspect there's another subset of people who would attend both and would rather just have one meeting instead of two. So my preference is keep them separate, but curious what yours is, Sina.
For me, what I care about is that the people who are attending now will keep attending. Otherwise, I'm if there's one call and I can attend both eSimulate and RPC, then that's good for me. I am also somewhat interested in the RPC call, but it just happens that on Mondays I cannot, at the current time, attend.
So you would like the RPC call moved, and you're ambivalent as to whether they're merged.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, if no one else has anything, I don't have anything, and I didn't get word from anyone else indicating they're going to be late. So I'm assuming no one else is coming. I don't know where Besu and Nethermind are, but maybe just busy this week.
I think I have something to say. The RPC call is like it happens 2 times in a month, like bi-weekly, and it's by 4 p.m. UTC. No, 3 p.m. UTC rather. And there was a discussion last call about getting project maintenance. I think Light Client said he won't be focusing on the RPC execution API repo. Then he mentioned about getting someone to work as a project maintainer or something like that, because there's so many PRs that are yet to be merged or looked into, and then the front end aspects of the execution API also needs to be taken care of. Although some people from the JS team are also looking into it, I think so. And the general idea now is I might also be contributing to the Stimulate call, but I don't really know if how to go about it.
How to go about contributing to Simulate call, or how to go about addressing the problem that Light Client brought up?
Not the call itself, the issues like what you're working on, it stimulate.
Yeah, so for ETH Simulate specifically, we basically just, like, the thing we need is, the thing we need is Nethermind, Besu, Reth, Aragon to get their clients working with ETH Simulate. I don't know how to make that happen besides just poking them every so often and saying, hey, what's up? Why aren't you guys done yet? That is a hard problem. It is like herding cats. So ECH is an appropriate name. For the RPC, more general RPC stuff, I think what is needed is somebody who understands the Ethereum JSON RPC well enough that they can meaningfully give technical reviews to those PRs. So as like I indicated, there's a bunch of PRs, people want to do a lot of things, but there's not really any process in place. And more importantly, we don't have someone who is a technical owner of that project in general. Like, there's no one who has volunteered and said, hey, I would like to spend half my week just doing Ethereum RPC stuff and standardization. And so finding someone that is willing to do that and has a technical background to it. So the problem here is that the person you need for this job is someone who does have a technical background in Ethereum client development to some extent, or at the very least has a very strong technical background in API development. So yeah, it's a hard problem to solve. I don't have any good strong advice for you. Sorry.
All right, thank you. But one
Anyone
last
else?
question in general. Okay. Last question I have in general, since because I can recall from the beginning of this call, client teams I think that most up to date with its similarities, Besu, hardly Besu, Nethermind, and then Get. So how do you like try to get other teams to work on this, as in to know their progress? And also, there was a test that had issue that one client wasn't agreeing with the test or something that they had to like refactor sometime. So what if something like this happens? Maybe when Aragon tries to join again, how do you solve that? I don't know if my question makes sense.
Yeah, so to solve the problem of if someone tries to implement it and they run into problems, we definitely want them to bring it up. This call is a great place, or the Telegram channel is a good place to bring it up and discuss. There have been times where Geth currently, I believe, passes all the tests, but that's by nature of the tests were written from Geth. And in the past, when Nethermind has had bugs, we discuss it with Nethermind and Geth and figure out who's right, and then we update the test to match whoever's right. And so if someone has just like a problem with the spec in that, or in the test in that regard, then we just change the client that is wrong, which may be Geth, maybe Nethermind, maybe Besu, maybe someone else. We fix it. If they're coming in saying, hey, we don't like the design of this thing, then it's a little bit late for that for Ethereum, for ETH Simulate V1. However, for ETH Simulate V2, we can talk about other options, or ETH Simulate V3, etc. And so we can make changes in future versions. As for getting other clients to actually participate, besides Geth, Nethermind, and Besu, the only way to do that is begging and bribing, basically. Just go around and ask people, please implement this thing. Hopefully, as more and more apps and wallets starts utilizing ETH Simulate, and I have seen some do this, there will start to be more demand for this feature. And as there's more demand from this feature from users, hopefully that bubbles up, and eventually teams like Aragon and Reth will implement it. I think Reth actually has started implementing it, if I remember correctly. I don't know how far they got, though.
I think Reth has a functioning implementation, as far as I remember. I remember that they were disagreeing on some things in the beginning. I'm not sure what is the state, because they never participated in the call. And I don't believe... So I think this is a takeaway for me. I don't believe that we are running Reth and Besu as part of our CI flow. I think actually that would be nice if we can see what is the status of all the clients. Then it would give us some observability, and we would know which client to nag, basically.
Yeah, so maybe that's the answer, is if there's anything you can do, Mercy, or if you know anyone that can do this, to reach out to all the clients and get them, even if they don't implement eSimulate, just get their clients in. Do they need to get into Hive specifically, Sina, or are all the clients in Hive, but they're just not hooked up to this particular subsuite?
Yeah, we have a fork of Hive now, and we just if they are on a branch, then we would need to know which branch. Otherwise, I'm not sure if Besu has actually merged this in the master branch. In which case, if in that case, we can just add them now.
So is this something where you just need to like add a line to our Hive
yes
fork and say Besu enabled type thing? Can
Yeah,
we just
exactly.
add Besu, Reth, and Aragon, and just say will fail, and then we can maybe just send them and say, hey guys, look, you're failing. come fix your bug. And maybe that's as simple as, oh, you're looking at the wrong branch, and then we can just fix that easily.
Yeah.
How about that? Let's do that, and then maybe in Telegram, and then maybe Mercy or someone else can help us try to get in touch with the other client dev teams that are not currently failing and poke them a little bit. Okay. Anything else? Okay, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully with Nethermind and Besu.
Yep. Gotcha, guys.
Bye.